Alright guys, welcome back to yet another video of simple technical analysis. So to start with, this is the weekly time frame. This is a different chart. This is XRP, which we've been looking at, right? I'm going to explain why we're on this chart because there's something I talked about once upon a time about adjusting to um, the outcome, right? Because this is a game of possibilities and probabilities, so we always need to have this mindset of adjusting in case the unexpected happens. So this is what I was expecting, right, from XRP right after we backed this trade back in July. I was expecting this the market to continue in this way. Both of these are buy patterns, right? However, the market did the exact opposite and it fell down, so I just had to adjust and wait for it to play out, right? So at this point, you might have been taking more of sells at this point, but if you're going to stick to the rules, right, but you do not want to sell in a buying market, this is a bullish market, you don't want to um, buy sell in a bullish market. What you want to do is buy, right? Then you would have to stick to patience because it took about since July till October, where we are now, for the price to form, for this pattern to form. It takes time, but as we can see, price has already formed and it's given, right? So let's go down to the daily time frame so we can see where we are right now. So on the daily time frame, we already know why these lines are here. In case you don't know, you can go back to the previous video where we talked about XRP and all these lines on the charts and why they are there. But in short, it just has to do with picking up clues from past price data to know what's going to happen next, right? So yeah, this is the daily time frame, and as you can see, if we go to the line charts, the pattern is playing out well, respecting on the trend line, respecting every bounce, right? So where we are right now is here. Price broke out of this trend line, and what we actually want is a retest, right? So going down to the 4 hours so we can see that clearly. Down in the 4 hour, we are seeing that we're actually getting what we want. Breakout, retest, right? It's taking some time, maybe it's forming another pattern, but yeah, once you have your breakout, you have your retest, you find on the lower time frame entries, and then you take your trade. So we're looking for the buy because we're very bullish on this, right? So I'm just going to see what's happening right now. If you take a look at this, we still, yeah, it may take some time, right? What could we expect? We could expect this to happen, but when we're going to take a move on this trade or on this market is when we see it break out of this. So we're going to expect it to break out of this, and then up we go, right? So now let's go back to the charts which we're all familiar with and see what's happening right there, right? So going down to MEXC, which is what we looked at the last time. Over here on MEXC, this is the 1 hour time frame. Let's go to the daily. Alright, so this is the daily time frame, and as you guys can see, I'm sure you can remember this, right? This is what we last took a look at. So this was where we actually bought from. Keep this aside as well. This is where we bought from, right? So currently we're in profit. Actually, we're seeing at least a 1:2, right? So we can now decide to lock in profit or break even, right? So let's take a look at it from this perspective. If we're taking a look at it from this perspective, yes, price has clearly broken out and tested on this multiple times. So what we're expecting is tomorrow, Tuesday, right, we're expecting the market to start moving because this is a clean breakout, this is a retest. So yeah, nothing much, just a simple follow-up on this simple technical analysis. Price is still moving as expected, and if you look over here, we're very much bullish coming from the past 1 year, 6 months, 3 months, 1 month, and even 1 week. 100% bullish. And if we look at the technicals, what we can see here is the exponential moving average, simple moving average, and all the moving average, at least all of them are saying buy, right? And we only have one sell, but of course, who wants to listen to Hall moving average. Nobody even knows what the Hall moving average is. So I believe we shouldn't even put that into consideration. So let's start with the monthly time frame. On the monthly time frame we're bullish, right? The the oscillators are bullish, right? We have like 2 buys, 0 sells. That's on the monthly again, right? Then over here we have the summary. Over here we have the summary of this. So over here we have the summary, right? We have 11 buys and 1 sell, right? So if you're among the sellers, I think you should just jump boats right now. Then now on the moving average, we have moving average. Right? We have 9 buys, 1 sell, which is well, you already know what it is, right? So more buys, less sells. Right now, let's take a look at the weekly. Over here on the weekly, we're quite neutral on the oscillators. We're quite neutral on the oscillators, and we have 1 sell, 2 buys. Strong buy on the weekly though. We have 16 buys and 1 sell. We have 14 buys on the moving average, 0 sells. As you can see, everywhere here is bullish, right? So everywhere here is buying. So now if we break it down to the daily time frame, you can see that we're still neutral over here. 1 sell, 1 buy. We have 14 buys to 2 sells. We have 1 sell to 13 buys, and if you scroll down you see that we're mostly buying. Every indicator is pointing towards the buy, right? So I think that's the best place we want to stop. Nobody wants to go down to the 4 hours, in as much as, yeah, the 4 hours still bullish, still bullish, still bullish, and yeah, we're much bullish on every time frame. So I'm looking at this week to next week to the upper week. I'm looking at buying XRP. So if you look at this, we're bullish over here, extremely bullish over here. Full bars were charged, and if you scroll down to all the cryptocurrencies, you can see that yes, the change percentage and the change rate in the past 1 day has been extremely impressive. We have everywhere is green. Let's just put it that way. Everywhere is green. Even on the meme coins that we don't expect much from is actually doing well. So yeah, that's it for XRP. This is why I'm bullish on XRP. We're going to gather momentum from other cryptocurrencies, and but this is just simple technical analysis, right? So if you are not yet positioned in this buy, what I would do is I would look for a buy entry around here, because I'm going to still be very fresh and early into this. So what I'm going to be doing is looking for a buy entry around here. You might want to break it down to the 1 hour time frame to find a solid buy. So let's take a look at that, shall we? On the 1 hour, let's get rid of this guy and this guy. On the 1 hour, okay, this is where we're supposed to be looking to pick a buy from. As you can see, we had on our previous video, if you go back to the previous video, you'll see why we drew up this support line over here. So yeah, as you can see, price has respected that very nicely. Bounced off of this, came back, and bouncing off again. So now at this point, based on manipulation and market manipulations and all that, maybe you could be expecting a fake out, right, which might bring us into this area, right, the ultimate support, and you might expect a wick moving up. So if you're going to be patient enough to watch this play out, and here's another thing which I think is very possible. Alright, I'm just going to draw this up on the, let's draw it up on the 1 hour. Ignore the messy chart, but if you take a look at this, you might see another pattern forming, and of course this pattern is going to look very familiar to you guys because it's our regular XRP pattern. So what could we be expecting? We could be expecting a, something like that, breakout, retest, buy, or we could be expecting a sell down to here. Maybe we then adjust this pattern, gets into this zone. There's many possibilities, right? But this is just one probability that I'm talking about, and the best way to be safe on this is to buy. Just buy. Have a large stop loss. Your stop loss could be at 2.83. Best place to keep your stop loss, and you just keep your take profit open, right, till you're comfortable with it. So yeah, this is not financial advice, right? This is not financial advice, but this is what I would do, right? I'm not advising you to do this, but this is what I would do because I have big balls, right? So yeah, that's by the way, and let's get back to our daily time frame, and this is where we are, and that's it for XRP, guys. I'll see you guys in the next video where we will be talking about simple technical analysis on some other cryptocurrency pairs. So happy trading.